Nation, Noah, it's Printzy here, and we are outside of the Scotiabank Saddledome, ready for our series and Game 1 preview for the long-awaited Battle of Alberta. Noah, let me know, what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Oh boy, I am feeling a lot of excitement right now and a lot of anxiety heading into tomorrow's Game 1 against the Edmonton Oilers from the Scotiabank Saddledome. And man, 31 years in the making. It's just, this province is going to be on absolute fire the next 2 weeks, man.
This is a good thing for the province of Alberta. It's a good thing for the game of hockey. We've also got the Battle of Florida between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers, but we're here in Alberta. We're Flames Nation. We're focused on the Calgary Flames. So Noah, I got to ask you though, man, you just said I got a little bit of anxiety. Why do you got some anxiety, man? Are you not confident?
Well, it's not that I'm not confident, because of course I'm confident, but it's the fact that you're playing the Oilers, and it's the fact that the Oilers have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, the two of the best players in the league. But I'm pretty confident that in the end, the Flames are going to win the series.
Okay, we'll get our series predictions at the very end of the show here. But my thought, first of all, for you is after the Flames took care of Dallas in that Game 7, that overtime thriller that you took in at the Red Lot, what are your thoughts of the Flames actually going from a goaltender who absolutely lit them up in Jake Ottinger to a goaltender that we're very, very familiar with in Mike Smith?
Well, I guess Jake Ottinger is the new standard for tough goalies that the Flames have to play against in the playoffs. So going from Jake Ottinger to Mike Smith is a significant downgrade when you look at it. Because the thing is with Mike Smith is, as much as he is a gamer, you still have no idea what you're going to get from him every single game. Because he could be absolutely lights out, but then he could be complete shit the next game.
Fair enough. That's a fair enough assessment of Mike Smith. We know him too well with games where he's be absolutely lights out. Like if we go back to 2019 against the Colorado Avalanche, the Flames would have been out in 4, and those games would have been 8-9-1 if it wasn't for Mike Smith. So we give Smitty our props. We're pretty positive and pumped up that we're actually facing a goaltender like Mike Smith.
Well, and the thing that we talked about the other day on the show was that, as I mentioned, is that he's either a guy who shows up and is absolutely electric, or he's the type of goaltender that you want yanked right away.
Fair enough, and we're hoping that we can get him yanked. I mean, we've dealt with Koskinen before. He's probably the inferior goaltender. Moving on to the goaltenders, because we obviously know that the Flames are going to be rolling with Jake Markstrom, barring any injuries. We're hoping that's not going to happen. What do the Flames need to do to shut down the big two on the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, Chris Tanev is going to come very much in handy if he's not too injured in these playoffs, and he's out for a significant period of time. They just need to keep doing what they've always done against Connor McDavid, is really just shutting those two down. And if you shut those two down, what else do the Oilers really have?
That's fair. Offense? Yeah, I mean, you look at it, they do have Nugent Hopkins, they do have Evander Kane, like we had mentioned in the podcast. You kind of forget of him because he's a bit of a scumbag. And they've got Zach Hyman, but after that, it's a fairly big drop-off into some just
huge
muckers and grinders and pluggers and stuff
One
like that.
One thing to add, too, is they have to stay out of the penalty box in this series.
Yes, the Calgary Flames absolutely have to stay out of the penalty box. It is the playoffs. Things are going to get called in the playoffs. That's how it goes. Things are going to get called. The reffing, in my opinion, for the first round of the playoffs was not great.
It was bad.
It was pretty bad. A lot of soft calls, a lot of 4-on-4. 4-on-4 is probably not what you want to play against the Oilers too, because they've got the speed, they've got the skill. So there's a lot of factors going into this. What do you think the Dome's going to be like? I ask this question every time. What do you think the Dome's going to be like for Game 1?
The Dome is going to be absolutely insane tomorrow night as the Flames play the Oilers. Like, you're going to see, I don't think you're going to see as much of a contingent as Oiler fans as you would normally see in the regular season. There's obviously going to be Oiler fans at the Saddledome. We all know this. But I don't think there's going to be as much of a contingent as people think there's going to be.
Okay. I think it's going to be split. I think, obviously, there's going to be a lot more Flames, but I think it'll be pretty close because, like I said, there's a lot of people up in Edmonton that have migrated down to Calgary because we're the better city. That's a fact.
Exactly.
We are the better city, so there's a lot of people that have come down. What are you thinking of the Oilers? Are they going to be as physical as the Dallas Stars were on the Calgary Flames?
No, I don't think so, because the thing is that, when you look at this matchup between the Flames and the Oilers had the big two in McDavid and Draisaitl. We all know that. But after that, man, it's like the defense of the Oilers is still not great. The goaltending is not as good as the Flames is. And the overall depth is not as good as the Flames is either. So the Flames sort of triumph over the Oilers in sort of those positions as well, along with the offense. But as I said, you need Gaudreau, Lindholm, and Tkachuk to really step up in this series.
Do you feel like that's going to carry over from Game 7? Like, do you feel like Game 7 the performances by Tkachuk, the performance by Toffoli, the fantastic performance in overtime by Johnny, is that going to carry over into this series?
Absolutely. If you were to ask me, absolutely, because I kept saying, like, Game 7 was arguably going to be the biggest game in Matthew Tkachuk's career, and boy, oh boy, did he ever step up in Game 7 against Dallas.
He delivered, and we need him to deliver. We need Matthew Tkachuk to be that pest. We need him to be that agitator. Oilers
not
fans,
to the point where he's taking stupid penalties, obviously not.
No,
but at the same
he needs
time,
to get under his skin. You know, I felt like the series against the Kings. Who really went after McDavid?
Nobody
went after
him.
him. Like, Philip Deneau checked him tightly, but that's about it. They didn't have anybody taking runs. They didn't have anybody taking liberties. Like, you cannot let this guy get off free in this series. You need to finish your checks on him. Draisaitl is obviously playing injured to what we know. You don't want to go out there and hurt anybody, but you need to finish your checks on these guys.
You do.
Get them rattled. You know, all these Oilers fans, all they have in their ammo is Tkachuk's a turtle, Tkachuk's a turtle. Well, guess what? Give them another reason to think that. Like, this is, we got to get going on this.
Yep.
We got to get hard on this. So, Noah, final thoughts here. Let's give our series predictions because we're doing this prior to Game 1. Give me your series prediction on what's going to happen in the Battle of Alberta.
Flames in 7.
You're going Flames in 7. Now, what do you think about that? Are you thinking it's a home ice advantage, or what do you think?
I think home ice advantage for both the Flames and the Oilers is going to be significantly huge because obviously you have your contingent of the CF Red here in Calgary, and then obviously you have the Raucous that is at Rogers Place in Edmonton with the Oiler fans. So I think home ice is going to come in really big handy for both teams in this series.
Fair. That's a fair point. And I am thinking that it's going to be Flames in 6.
Oh.
What I'm saying is I think that they're going to steal one in Edmonton. Whether that's in 3 or 4 or whether that's Game 6 and they wrap it up in Edmonton, I believe the Calgary Flames are going to steal one up in Edmonton. The crowd is raucous. It's like Calgary. They're wild out there. Yeah, they got a better rink. You know, it's not the Saddledome, whatever. But the Flames, I think, are the better team. They're deeper. You got to deal with McDavid and Draisaitl, but the depth of the Flames is going to play a factor. The physicalness, the size, and in my opinion, Sutter is going to outcoach Jay Woodcroft.
Exactly. I think the Daryl Sutter effect is massive.
Fair.
In this series.
Absolutely. So we're both on Sutter. In Sutter, we trust. A shout out to Flight Golf, who supplied me with this wonderful Flames polo. Custom design, so I'll be rocking that on the golf course. So thank you. Follow Flight Golf on Instagram. Thank you very much for that, guys. I'm Printzy, this is Noah, and we are reporting just outside the Saddledome for Flames Nation.